Hey everyone, how's it going? Azren, the language nerd here. Hope you're doing very, very well. This is a hashtag BLV, aka a bad lighting video, which, by the way, we can potentially change. Aha, that's better. It's still bad lighting, but it's better lighting, aka a BLV, a better lighting video. Anyway, lately I've been really busier, really busy, busier than normal, because every single day I have 2 classes at the University of Calgary. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing a second bachelor's degree in East Asian language studies with a concentration in Mandarin, so Mandarin Chinese. So that's got me really busy. I have my homework, which is obviously keeping me busy. I have my regular students, of course, which is my full-time job of teaching, which is keeping me busy. And then, of course, all my content. Like, there's a lot of things going on, a lot more than I have had for quite some time. And as a result, I'm predicting, I don't know if it's true, but I'm predicting that a lot of my content, or some of the content moving forward, are going to be these late night kind of videos, or later at night videos, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. sort of thing, where I'm sitting in my car, it's dark outside, but hey, what can we do? I want to make sure I'm still making content for you, so this is probably the best way that I can do that, at least for the near future. That's my prediction. And today, I want to talk about some tips to get the most out of language classes. It's a funny thing, right? Because I know that some people really like to take language classes, while other people don't. Other people don't find language classes effective. Other people think that they're slow, they're ineffective, they're boring, they're this, they're that. Some people think that they're actually a little bit too expensive and they can get the same results teaching themselves for free, or at least for a lot cheaper. There's a variety of reasons why some people like them, other people don't. Personally, I've always said that language classes are great. I really like them. I've always taken language classes, but here's the crazy thing, and I realized this very, very recently. I approach language classes a heck of a lot more differently than most other people. Most people who take language classes approach them with the mindset of, I'm going to take the class to learn new things and get better at the language. Myself, usually, most of the time when I take language classes, it's to reinforce things that I already know. For example, even when I go directly into a class and I'm a pure beginner in the language, I will go in advance and make sure that I know the alphabet, that I know the sounds. I can say the difficult sounds in the language. I know a couple of words here and there. I know some basic grammar. I know a little bit. I'm not an expert, but at least when I go into the class, obviously there will be some things that are new, but a lot of it, or some things, a percentage of the things are going to be review and are going to be doing nothing more than solidifying the knowledge that I already taught myself, or that I had already encountered earlier on YouTube or Google or on whatever. Does that make sense? And I think some people, or a lot of people, will take classes with the sole intention of learning new things and being taught new things. And myself, obviously that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do think that there can be tremendous value in taking classes as a way to reinforce knowledge, and not primarily or not entirely just, I want to learn new knowledge and put new things in my brain. One of the big reasons why I like to do this is because when you take classes, one of the factors that is not in your control is how the teacher teaches. Often the teacher's style does not match your learning style. Often the teacher's not very good. Often the class itself is boring. Often you're just going through textbooks, which is not engaging. Often you're just going through conjugation tables and charts, which are not fun. And as a result, it's boring and it's hard to learn. But here's the thing. If you're going into the class and you already know a lot of the material, at least to a certain extent, it doesn't matter as much if the teacher's not as good, because you're just using this to fill in the gaps and essentially, I guess you could say, reinforce, like I said before, reinforce things that you already had in your brain to a certain level. That's what I'm doing right now with my Mandarin classes. I already, not fully, but I know a percentage, a certain amount of the stuff that we're doing, and it's relatively familiar. and it just works for me. It's something I've always done, and I never really realized till recently. I think the other thing with language classes is to be using the class in a very selfish kind of way. Don't only rely on what the teacher is teaching you or what the teacher is telling you. You've got to look past just that. For example, let's look at my Mandarin class here. My Mandarin class, we're going through the textbook. We're going through the words. We're going through how to use them. She's giving us examples. Sometimes she'll go a little bit off script and she'll give us like a little extra tidbit of information that's related to something we're learning. But me, I'm paying attention to way more than that. I'm paying attention to, how does she say words? How is she pronouncing things? Is she saying them the same way I'm saying them? Huh, interesting. She says blah, 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 blah when she's speaking. I don't know if I say it exactly like that. Interesting. Or I'll pay attention to, for example, her is the teacher, right? When she's writing things on the board, what's her stroke order with the characters? Like, how is she getting that character written so fast? She's not teaching us that, but I'm watching for it. So I'm watching for her behavior, and I'm learning from the teacher's behavior as much as I am from what we're directly being taught. Another version of this is I ask a lot of questions, and I will make sure that in the class, I'm taking full advantage of the fact that I have a person in front of me whose job it is to teach me, right? And I will ask questions. I will get feedback on things that I say, right? Because I know that sometimes I say things that maybe are understood, but they're not super correct, or they're not the way that native speakers would say them, or this, that, the other thing. I know that. And so I use this class as an advantage point, as a tool to be able to get that necessary feedback, which is oh so valuable, and you don't get when you're teaching yourself languages. You don't have as many people to be giving you that feedback, but you're seeing a teacher every 3 days, every 4 days, every 2 days. You can get that feedback, and I use that a lot. I also use it for speaking practice, right? I'll ask questions literally for the sake of I don't really give a crap about the answer. I'll just put my hand up and ask something to make myself talk. Or I'll be like, oh, that one thing reminds me of blah, 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 blah. I don't even care. Who the hell cares? But I just want to practice speaking, right? And I take advantage. So whenever I take classes, it's not just about the content that's being taught to me, but it's also about taking advantage in other ways. The last thing I'll say on this topic, and it's kind of on the same train of thought, is that another way you can take advantage is being in the environment where resources are at your fingertips. Does that make sense? For example, at the university today, I saw this little poster, right, that said Chinese Conversation Club. I was like, whoa, that's cool. I would have never found that if I wasn't taking a class. Or, for example, when the Chinese teacher says, oh, you guys have to check out this restaurant. It's so good. And the restaurant owner is so friendly. I wouldn't have heard that. I wouldn't have gotten that networking opportunity, right? I wouldn't have had that opportunity to, yes, eat yummy food, but now meet a local Chinese person in the city and have something to talk about with them. Be like, oh, I'm taking a class with so-and-so. Do you know her? Oh, yeah. Cool. Blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't have that opportunity if I didn't take the class. If you're taking classes in the country that speaks that language, aka taking English classes in the States, Mandarin classes in China, Japanese classes in Japan, your teacher is the gateway to meeting new people. It's the gateway to making friends. It's the gateway to understanding the city. Because when you're in the class, it's very easy to ask them, hey, what's a really good restaurant I can eat at? Hey, where can I meet new people? Hey, blah, 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 blah. Hey, do you want to grab drinks? Really easy to have a friend very, very quickly, or to use the teacher to go and network and make friends and understand the city, ingrain yourself in the culture, etc. So anyway, hope that really helps you guys out. That brings this BLV video, this bad lighting video, to an end. And we will talk later, guys. Bye for now. See you.